a few conversations, got to address. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Take This Tip Podcast. I'm your host, Shaun.
I'm Big Nick.
And today is just us. I know y'all normally used to us having a guest, but today me and Nick decided to sit down and have a conversation with y'all about topics and discussions that are going on and, just get our perspectives on things. So,
Yeah. In addition to that, I just wanted to kind of highlight, you as an individual, me as an individual. I feel like a lot of the episodes have been about the guest. People are like, oh, well, I want you to talk more on this, and I want Shaun to talk more, elaborate more on this. So here's an opportunity for that.
Here they go. That's what y'all, we giving y'all what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted this, so y'all gonna get this work, okay? Don't shoot the messenger, but hey, today I'm not the messenger. I'm the shooter and the driver. So I got a question. I know we kind of talk about relationships and things like that, but I kind of want to go a different route. I kind of want to go towards like the end of the relationship with someone. My first question is, what type of foundation should a man lay down when starting a relationship?
I think it's important for the man to set the tone for the relationship.
Okay, in what way?
However he would like for the relationship to go.
Okay.
Because you don't want to like start a relationship and set the expectations, of you if just put it like this. If you start at stake 48, you got to keep that up. You don't go from, something expensive, lavish, and, you introduce that person to a certain lifestyle, and then all of a sudden, you can't keep it up.
Got you.
So
But then what if that was just to impress the person? Because how some dudes be out here and, they'll hit them with a pump fake. You feel me? Make it seem like, hey, like you said, you go stake 48. And then next thing you know, a month later, they at the Cheesecake Factory,
There's
Red
my
Lobster.
perspective, but I think you should always just kind of like start like within like this, I feel like the first like meeting or date should be something simple where you can speak to the person and understand the person and just get to know the person. Gotcha. I feel like it's a lot going on at those restaurants and you're not really there for, engaging the engagement and getting to know the person. Is just oh my God, it's steak 48 and it's all these things going on. You get easily distracted.
Okay,
in my opinion.
So then to pivot off that, once that lavish lifestyle isn't given, do you feel like it's the man's fault that the foundation has a crack in it now? Because once it started with a crack, man, eventually it just breaks apart, and then now you got two individuals who could be possibly, irritated by one another,
Whoever set the tone, in my opinion.
Okay. Now, are you okay with the woman setting the tone first in a relationship? Like for example, when she meets you and she be like, hey, like, I know normally you take me out on the first date, but let me take you out on the first date. And then she take you to steak 48. Are you still going to be like, hey, I still want steak 48? Or are you going to be like, oh, I'm a cool, calm dude. Like, like I don't really need that all the time. I can do cheesecake. I can do, Chili's.
The type of person that I am, the individual that I am, it's hard for me to accept, like, like kind of just like sitting back and being like, okay, let me ride with this. Like, so for me, like I always want to set the tone. Like, obviously, they always say like first impression is everything.
Got you.
I want to make sure I'm laying out the foundation. What can you expect from me?
Got you.
Right. So, that'd be hard and difficult for me. I'm taking you here. That's when you're like, whoa. Like, so that'd be definitely, I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. But then so should a man still expect that since she started off like that,
I don't like the word expectations.
Okay.
Because I feel like it always just leads to like
some bullshit, huh?
Most of the time, disappointment. So I think starting off, you should just always be genuine, honest, and just open or whatever. Be open-minded.
For sure. Sure, I definitely agree with that. I definitely feel like if you feel that this is what you can give now and provide now, then stick to that. And then once you gradually get to a certain place in life to where you can be like,
Mhm.
okay, we can eat steak 48 every other weekend if we wanted to,
Right.
we can go to these lavish places. But some men, what do they say? Bite off more than they can chew.
Yeah, I'm just about to say, especially in this economy right now, the world right now, like that should not be where
Man.
you headed at. For I mean, if you got it, ball out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But most people don't. You trying to impress somebody, and
Yeah, because a
it's
man.
not even most of the time. It's not even what you need.
Mm,
So it's just like you might as well
mm.
just
Okay, so then what if you meet the girl that is used to that and all you can provide is a nice date to the Cheesecake Factory by the marine by the water because that's all you got and she's used to a roof Chris kind of guy taking her out. Then how do you pivot from that?
What I like to do before the relationship, I try to. I mean, before the date, I try to gauge to
Okay.
see what they're about. I had one person tell me one time, like, "Oh, I'm a steak girly."
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I know what you own. So not that I can't afford it, but she's telling me like this is what I
Telling you what
expect.
it
So
is. Yeah.
so that that's fine. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Okay.
prefer that. But I know you want to talk about relationship and all this these different things, but I
Yeah.
do want to ask you a question.
Cool.
With everything that had been going on since the last time
Yeah.
we recorded, I sincerely wanted to ask you, how are you?
Oh man. Um I'm good. Um, I had a loss in the family. Rest in peace to my Uncle Arnold. Miss you and I love you, man. We really didn't have a chance to really talk in a minute. But at the end of the day, family is family,
Mm.
even if it's from a distance. It's always gonna be love there, memories, things like that. But I'm good though. I've been progressing. School's been kicking my butt. But thank God for spring break.
Yeah.
But no, but mentally I'm good. I just took that for what it was. I had my moment, a day and a half, and then I kind of just okay, what do we need to do now to move forward? And just execute from there. Yeah. What about you? How you been, man? Cause I ain't heard from you in a minute. I don't know where the brother. Hey, I hear from him. We cool, and next thing you know, he be like, vanish.
Life is life.
Yeah,
One thing about life, I always say you can always expect change.
yeah.
So I'm not trying to let any type of change like affect me in a negative way.
Got you.
But as far as like right now, I'm getting cooked. Just like not, I wouldn't say like anything like negatively,
Yeah.
but I just feel like it's a lot.
A lot of weight on your shoulders.
It's a lot right now. So I'm just trying to navigate that and balance that. But and still at the same time, still always show up.
Got you.
So that's where I'm at. Just continue to show up. Everything could maneuver.
Okay. And then so with that, in those hard times or those negative times, do you do your best to keep, who you pray to first? In situations?
Of course.
Because some people wean away from it because they're going through something. I just told somebody today, I was like, just because you're going through something today don't mean you can't smile tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that whatever you're going through in life right now should not dictate what tomorrow brings for you. It's a different day. God gave you a chance to grow and learn from whatever the situation is going on.
Right.
And a lot of people take that for a grain of salt. Sometimes people have these tragic situations and then you look up and it's like, where they at? They didn't crash or failed, and things like that. And it's sad to see.
Yeah.
How important is it to have, like, how can I put this? How important is it to have a tight knit group of friends around you?
That's interesting that you asked that because that was gonna be my next question to you because I was thinking back on because obviously not only you got the news, Steven also got the news, and that's our circle,
man.
right? So I'm calling y'all, hitting you up, and trying to support and be there as much as I could, I could at that
And we
time, right?
appreciate it for real.
But also with also understanding that y'all need y'all space, I need to walk through whatever I need to walk through, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's very important. I consider like when I go out with y'all and I'm with y'all, that's like my
Yeah, brothers.
it's
for
like
sure.
it's just something different, and it's just the vibe is always genuine, it's always pure,
Yeah.
and you need those type of friends in those moments in life, because things can get tough, can get difficult.
Man.
So you definitely just need somebody where you can be like, look, I'm gonna just kick back real quick. I'm gonna be over here, or
Yeah.
let your mind be at rest, or at peace,
sure.
for a moment. So that was my question. Like, what can I do as your brother to support you in those difficult times? So
yeah. And we definitely have been through some things, and we've gotten through them together.
Yeah.
And I definitely appreciate it. Also, one of my good brothers is here as well. That's actually why I brought him, so you can meet him as well. Y'all can kind of interact, because that man got me through some tough times too. And it was rough. Like, I don't want to kind of go into it too much, but like, I lost my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the ones that was there. Dropped everything he had going on, and was there. And I appreciate you, bro. He's actually here today with us. So, it's just like things like that. Like, I always wanted that tight knit brotherhood. Because us as black men, we always going through something, and we always have different emotions in life. But it's like, how are you able to still go through that and still confine in your brothers, and nobody's judging? Everybody is like, look, okay, you going through it? Cool. We here for you. Let us know if you need anything, and it's dope to see, man.
I think
It
it's
really
like
is.
it's just a language that we just understand.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like it's not even what you say. It's like it's sometimes you can just see something and be like, I get that, I feel that.
Yeah.
It's just it may just be just being a black man,
Yeah.
with everything going on like in the world, family, school, work,
Yeah.
all these different things. You have to always try to find some type of happiness in something.
Yeah.
And whenever you find the happiness, hold on to it.
Yeah. I'll always say, when you do find that happiness, that's actually, I would say, take that happiness and pour it into the crack of your foundation, and kind of mold it back together, and let those little moments of happiness kind of fulfill, like bring you back to you, because, at times as men, we'll fall off.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll fall off, which kind of brings me to this question.
Hold on, before you do that,
go.
Because you was talking about me being ducked off. I ain't trying to put your business out there. But
oh man,
ducked off happy somewhere.
Hey,
so describe a recent occurrence.
Okay, I can do that.
That has made you feel whole or happy.
Yeah, for sure. Just recently.
You ain't gotta tell all your business.
No. I ain't gonna tell all my business, but just recently, I went out and I actually did something different. I went to a comedy show.
Okay.
But before that, I slid to this little joint. And it was just the vibe, man. It was just like being able to be outside and not even have a care in the world, better living. More life. And it was just so dope just to be around people that just made me feel like, man, like life can be like this if I allow it to. If I move everything that serves no purpose in my life out the way, I'm good, and it was just a dope time, and it was a dope feeling, and I felt alive again, I felt like I wasn't really caring about nothing, bro. Like I don't even know how else to describe that. It's like, and man,
yeah. I remember a time recently. It can just be those simple things, right? Just going out, just seeing something different and vibing, right? Recently I went to just like, usually like on the weekends, I don't have anything planned, I just kind of like I go and do things that, kind of like a self day, right? So
Got you.
I go get like a massage or something. I try a spot that I've been wanting to try.
Oh, you better living.
Recently it was recently it was a coffee shop that I've been wanting to try.
Okay.
In Inglewood.
Wow.
So
Always in.
I feel like
Inglewood.
Inglewood in a way has kind of like become like, I don't say the mecca of black people, but I'm starting to see like it's more like black folks.
No, you can say it. Inglewood has always been a city where you can see a lot more African American people in it, especially on Market Street.
For sure. So I was around there. I ain't gonna tell you where I was, but I was around there and I just saw the different people and the smiles and the vibe. It just felt, it was like a welcoming feeling. And it was just, I really appreciated that feeling.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Yeah, welcome to the city of champs, we don't say that for no reason.
It's ready to marry Inglewood or something.
I wish. Well, no, but yeah. Nah, it was dope, man. So question.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talk a lot about how we don't like being used.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a time where you have ever been used and you felt it, but you didn't really say anything about it? Like, you know what I mean?
All the time. I'm being used right now. If we want to be real about it, that's just life. It's just life. I'm being used right now. And, I'm starting to speak up about or, be more vocal about it as far as like recent. But, some people lean on you. And then sometimes they lean on you a little too much. You become a crutch. So once you, identify those situations, you're like, okay, hold on, let me. I just had a situation this morning when I had to shoot somebody a text and be like, hey, I need you to, for this month and that month.
Yeah.
So because just like at the end of the day, man, it's your life. You only get one life.
Yeah, for sure.
Try to just, whatever you can do, just try to make that fulfilling and just as happy as possible. Any way you can. So if you can just cut off, if it's just simply just cutting off a person or just plugging up this hole over here, you know that it's not benefiting you and it's not pouring into you, that goes a long way. Because if you don't do that, then sometimes it digs a hole for you, and then you trying to get out of that hole for years to come.
Got you.
So for me, it's just like identifying those things and also not letting people, use you or take advantage of you.
Gotcha.
Because it's just like, at the end of the day, it's just you.
Yeah. Okay.
And really only, I feel like you're the only one that can actually, truly fulfill you.
Got you.
In my opinion.
So then with that being said, was there ever a time where you felt somebody used you for like a free meal?
All the motherfuckers at Torrance Memorial.
Hey,
all of them.
I
didn't give birthday gifts. I didn't give Mother's Day gifts. I didn't
pay
for gas. I didn't done all type of stuff. That's just Torrance Memorial. I'm the type of person where I'm so giving. Yeah. And I never give anything that I'm like, I want you to, like you're indebted to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm giving because I want to, because it makes me happy.
Yeah.
I've always been like that.
Cool.
So when people take advantage of that, obviously you get a whole nother side.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, pick one.
Yeah. Was there ever a time where you had to, like, you knew that they were using you right then and there, and like you confronted them about it? Like, hey, hold up, like, are you trying to use me to get you something? Like, you know what I mean?
Nah, I'm sneaky in a way where I feel like I won't say nothing, but you gonna feel it.
Nah, I feel
it's
you.
Gonna creep up on you. Like, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a time where
it's like I ripped that motherfucking blanket or whatever, like towel right from under you. It's just like,
yeah. So there was a time back in the day. I don't even think he know this, but there was a time back in the day where somebody tried to use me, and so what happened was we we were on our way to the movies. I had already bought the tickets. We was on our way. And as soon as we got in there and we was walking up to like, get like our ticket stubs and all that, they was like, "Oh yeah, you mind if we get some of this or some of that?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And then next thing I know, you know how like, how can I put this? Normal people order, "Oh, let me get popcorn, maybe some candy and something to drink."
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker ordered what I call the whole left side of the menu. "Oh, let me get a pretzel, some nachos, popcorn. Let me get 3 bags of candy. Let me get a Slurpee. Oh, let me get a small drink." And I'm like, damn, this. First of all, this movie is only an hour and a half.
Crazy.
Is all that for us or is all that for you? And she was like, "Oh, this is all for me." Okay. So you know what I did? I politely, and I drove, mind you. So we went into the movies. I was like, "Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom," and I left that motherfucker.
Hell no.
I promise you,
why
I
not,
left.
But why not?
No,
in this, the
no,
moment?
no. And it was one of them little.
Wait.
It was one of them little Tuesday, Thursday night specials. So the tickets was only $8. I wasn't tripping anyway, and I disputed the transaction. How about that?
Wait, but did you pay for
I paid for everything.
The whole left side?
I paid for the left side, but I disputed it. I was like, that wasn't me.
That's because you got them big ass chains on this shit, look like Mr. T.
Nah, hey, hold on, hey, not too much. You got yours tucked in. Yeah, okay, not too much. Because then they start adding up, and then
I'm rolling. but
yeah, no, and I didn't necessarily leave her, but I left her.
So what did she say?
She was calling my phone.
You didn't answer,
and I didn't answer.
That's cold. You could have told her like, "Hey, I ain't."
No. Because what happened was, she automatically assumed I had money based off of the conversation, like, "Oh, this is nice.
Okay, so
you got this. Oh, you got that. Oh, you doing something with your life."
That goes back to the conversation that we had. You setting the tone.
Yeah.
So what type of tone did you set for her?
I just said, "Hey, you." I just said, "Hey, you wanted to go to the movies real
just
quick?"
The movies.
Yeah, just the movies. I didn't say nothing about no dinner, no nothing. Okay. She didn't even know that I owned jewelry, that I wore these kind of clothes, that I even had this kind of car. It was just, "Hey, you want to go to the movies real quick?" Sure. Okay, cool. I picked her up, and then it was like looking around, and then it's like, "Oh, you got money." Oh.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. As men, I don't feel like men should ever lead with money, because how you bought her like that is how you gonna lose her like that too. You should be able to catch a woman based off of who you are naturally as a man.
Right.
If you smell good, if you got a good conversation, if you able to engage with her for her to like you, and not just based off of what she feels that you could provide for her. A lot of men get that twisted out here. And
I actually just read something today. Actually, somebody gave me.
All right. Yeah, for sure. Cool.
So it says, to make a difference in someone's life. So you don't have to be brilliant, rich, beautiful, or perfect. You just have to care.
Say that one more time for the audience. No, for real, say that one more time.
It says, to make a difference in someone's life, you don't have to be brilliant, rich, beautiful, perfect. You just have to care. And I think the older I get, the more I'm just like, I'm focused on more of like, I'm pouring into who's pouring into me.
Got you.
It like, I want to word it. Yeah, it's nice to have like the nice things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But really, like they always say, you can't take it with you.
Yeah, you can't.
You have to identify what's important in life and what's not.
Got you.
Some people it's family. Some people it's their job. Some people it's their friends. Some people it's their pet.
Yeah.
What I mean by earlier, what I said, find some type of happiness in life. Hold on to it. Don't let it go.
Is there someone out there back in the day that you wish that you could have poured into a little more?
Back in the day, smiling is Trying to get me in trouble.
No, I'm not trying to get you in
trying
trouble.
to,
I'm just asking. I'm just
playing.
asking the question.
Nah.
No. I mean, it could. No.
No, I can
All
answer that.
seriousness. I mean, like a family or a friend. You know, somebody that you may not be engaged with anymore. Because how you said, like, you know, sometimes you'll pivot off of people and you gotta just push them to the side. You know.
I feel like it's been many of people, but I think if I had to choose someone,
Okay.
it would be like maybe my little sister more.
Okay. Why is that?
I thought by me doing what I did,
Got you.
that would be enough to motivate her.
Okay.
But, and not to say that she's doing anything bad, like, you know, she has her dreams and all these other things, right? I thought that just by her seeing me, you know, breaking these
barriers and
curses, you know,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
That would be enough. But there was actually one time I was at work, my sister shot me a text, and she sent me a clip of a podcast clip that we had recorded, and in that text, underneath that text, she said, "Bro, you don't know what this clip did for me." She said that I love you and I appreciate you, and I'm trying to remember, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
But she said, I love you and I appreciate you, and I just know that I'm next. And I guarantee you, like, I started crying at work.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, she don't even know what her sending that text to me did to me,
you.
Because it's just like, I mean, shit, I'm doing my best out here.
Yeah.
You know, but that shows me that she's watching what I'm doing, right? And she wants that. But I really wish that I could have just kind of just pulled her a little more and pushed her a little more. Rather than saying, oh, she'll figure it out. Just watch me, you know? Like, just pour into her more so that she can be further than what she is now.
Got you.
Rather than like, let me do this and I'll come back and get y'all.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I will say this, and I will commend you and say that you definitely have, and you're still creating one hell of a blueprint, you know, and I commend you on that, because from what I know from you, you've been through some stuff, and for you to be able to do that, you know, just show them your blueprint, you know, make copies of it and pass it out, you know, and just continue to strive for greatness, you know. You definitely on your way, and like I always say, I don't go backwards, and neither should you, or neither should none of my brothers go backwards, because the only thing that's back there is the stuff that is holding us back to move forward in life. But yeah, also for me, I wish I could have poured more into, man, I wish I could have poured, I wish I could have poured more time into time into my daughter. The reason why is because I was young and I wasn't understanding as to what was going on. And I knew by me being there, and when I would touch her, like hold her hand, things like that, she would move and she would be able to identify that it was me, because she wouldn't do that for other people. Not even like the nurses or the doctors. And they'd be like, how do you, like, if you call her, she'll move. If you hold her hand, she'll move. And it's like, and I wish I could have poured more love into her and let her know that, hey, I'm doing the best that I can to get you out of this situation. Because, what you go through in life, it it doesn't necessarily hold a burden over you, but it's like it can alter your DNA. It's like, damn, I should have did more of this. Maybe I should have went up there more. Maybe I should have just quit my job and just been up there because the job was shitty anyway, you know? And it was just like, maybe I should have just poured more into that and then into like my family also. Because I know it was a rough time for them too, but I was only thinking about me. I was selfish. I was pissed off at what was going on and not being able to receive the love that was actually trying to be given to me. Um,
But for whatever reason, I'm the youngest one out of,
yeah,
and sometimes y'all come to me. Actually, it's just not even y'all, but it's like a lot of older people come to me and asking me for my wisdom in regards to some, things like this. Just recently, the other day, somebody called me randomly. I ain't talked to them in like months.
yeah.
They wanted my perspective.
Mm.
And the advice that I gave to this person was, the way I think about it is like, I'm making the right decision,
Yeah,
or the best decision in that time.
facts.
So that way, let's say, for example, things didn't work out the way you planned them to. You made the best decision with what you had, or, within that time. So you can always look back and be like, okay with that,
Yeah.
So try to give yourself grace. We can only,
Yeah.
So my bad, getting a little,
No,
but
you good.
we can only do what we know.
Yeah.
We can only teach what we know. You know what I'm saying? So just give yourself grace and just pat yourself on the back. You made the best decision at that time. What you knew, what you had. So
Yeah. I kind of want to go into a different route with this one. And we can both answer. Was there a time where it was hard for you to have a conversation with your father about something that you just wanted him to just hear you out and just understand where you was coming from, and just for him to help you, for just allow him to be able to help you? Like, hey, I got to tell you something. I need you to hear me out. I need you to be my dad right now and help me, because I can't figure it out on my own.
No. Growing up, my dad was like he used to work all the time. But
Gotcha.
when he came home, he was like kind of like, he would like speak to me, and we would do things, but for the most part he was always working.
Gotcha.
But when I got older, my dad, I consider my dad my best friend.
Okay.
So I can go to him about anything and everything. He always got my back. Whether I'm right or wrong.
Gotcha.
He gonna be like, well, I can be like, well, I did this, and I can be dead wrong. He like, I don't give a fuck. It was supposed, So he gonna ride for me, whatever, right? So he, one thing that he always told me, he was like, I got your front, your side, and your back, no matter what. So I always feel like no matter what, I always got my dad.
Got you. Yeah. For me, I had a conversation with my dad. He wasn't. I'm not gonna put him out there like that, but a spade is a spade where I come from. So he was there, but he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I had a conversation with him. And I just wanted to understand, like, why was it that you could be there for my older brother and my younger sister, and I'm the middle child, but you wasn't there for me like that, And my brother and sister used to tell me, like, man, do you not realize, like, we used to think you had it better than we did, because even though he was there, he wasn't there. And once I had that uncomfortable conversation with him, it made me respect him a little more, even though I was pissed off. And I kind of wanted to, like, fight him.
What did he tell you? That
he told me that he was like, like, it was a lot going on. I'm not gonna put his whole business out there, but he was on the wrong side of life.
Mhm.
He was moving. He was fast paced. He was moving and grooving and doing him, and all these lavish things, and from his perspective, he thought that he was doing the right thing by building something for us at the end instead of being there for us when we needed you. So he kind of flipped it, and I told him, I was like, I don't give a fuck about what you got. I just need you to be here for me when I needed you. Like, I didn't took on a lot of battles by myself. And I was like, it made me the man that I am today, though, and I thank you for that. So it was like a gift and a curse. And but now he's around, and shout out to him. And I don't hold nothing over his head, you know. But in that time, I made sure he felt it though, because I'm like that. It just didn't make sense to me. He was also telling me like, I always loved you, always cared about you, even if it was from a distance. And I didn't understand it. I was like, well, how can you love me and care about me from a distance? And he was like, I think I would have been more damaging to you than actually helping you because I was only thinking about me. Yeah, your other siblings were there and I was helping them as much as I could, but he was like, I didn't want to destroy you by making you into me. And I was like, but little do you know, I look just like you and I kind of mimic you, and it's like, what you want me to do, you know, through these troubled times, like when you going through stuff and, like I had to man up quick. I had to make decisions quick. And the reason why I give him grace is because after my daughter passed away, he was the first person that called me.
Mhm.
I don't know who told him to call. I don't know how he got my number, but he called me. And that's what kind of made me get my respect back from him. Yeah.
So describe yourself as what kind of man are you? Give me three words three words that describe you as a man.
Hardworking, dedicated, and focused. What about you?
I want to just the same ones that you took, but I'm gonna say caring, honest,
Yeah. Okay. Um.
so wrap it up.
Yeah.
Hey, we can bounce back. So
Yeah.
you get a tip of the day. You get a tip of the day.
Um. My tip of the day is for the youth. Never let what happened to you yesterday make you turn away from how good the next day can be. Stay focused, keep it champ at all times, and no matter what, God is always with you. And as long as you walk with him and you stay with him, nothing can touch you.
My tip of the day would be don't lose yourself. Life. Things are always gonna be changing and coming. Just try to be sincere and genuine in all that you do. Keep that shit sexy.
Well, all right, y'all. With that being said, this is another episode of Take This to Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Shaun.
I'm Big Nick.
We'll see you when we see you.
Bye.
Keep it champ.